Let me start with the most brutal, necessary truth you will hear today. Your mediocre life, your financial struggles, and your crippling anxiety are not your father's fault. They are yours. I know that runs contrary to everything you've been taught to believe in this era of clinical excuses, but hear me out. For too many of you, your parents are not sources of guidance. They are convenient, lifelong scapegoats for your own lack of courage. You have been handed a powerful, seductive narrative that your current state of failure is the direct result of generational trauma, poor parenting, or a lack of support 20 years ago. And while those things may be true in varying degrees, they are right now nothing more than a liability. They are the narrative you use to justify your own profound cowardice when faced with the actual work required to build a good life. The greatest fraud of modern psychology is convincing a generation that their past is more powerful than their present action. Your childhood trauma is not an excuse for being broke. It's a test of your will to become financially lethal. We need to talk about what true responsibility looks like, especially in the pursuit of objectives like the 101, achieving $1 million in revenue with 0 employees in 1 year, a feat that requires the ultimate separation from victimhood. Think about the character required to achieve a harvest. This path demands extreme self-reliance and a complete intolerance for self-pity. When the system breaks down, when the strategy fails, when you feel discouraged, do you call your therapist to analyze your deep-seated relationship issues? No. You fix the funnel, you rewrite the offer, and you move on. The victimhood dividend. You are not earning a living. You are earning victimhood points. You trade financial success for the emotional dividend of being perpetually justified in your failures. And society is happy to pay you that dividend in clicks and sympathy, but sympathy doesn't pay the rent. The problem isn't your childhood, it's your adult decision to prioritize explanation over execution. You've become fluent in the language of excuses. I can't focus because of my undiagnosed issues. I can't save because I have spending trauma. I'm anxious because of my attachment style. This is a sophisticated way of saying, I refuse to be disciplined. And that's where your financial life completely collapses. The world, particularly the world of high-leverage business and the path to 101, rewards people who solve problems, not people who elaborate on them. Let's look at the two sides of the coin, financial success and mental health. You think they are separate, but they are intrinsically linked by a single variable, action. If you are financially struggling, it's often because you refuse to engage in the uncomfortable, high-value actions required. This could be selling, negotiating, learning a hard skill, or simply putting in the focused effort we call cognitive resilience, the ability to sit with a boring task until it yields fruit. Now, let's talk about mental health. You spend your life dissecting your anxieties, but your brain is an organ designed to solve problems and reduce threats. When your life is unstable, financially precarious, physically sedentary, and directionless, your brain's core alarm system, the anxiety mechanism, is going to scream. You don't have a mental health disorder because of your parents. You have crushing anxiety because your bank account is at 0, your body is out of shape, and you have no mission. Your lack of courage to fix those 3 things is the real trauma. The cure for anxiety. The cure for most modern anxiety is not analysis, it's activity. Get a mission. Get financially secure. Get physically strong. When you have agency over your life, your brain shuts up. Your therapist can't give you purpose. Only you can do that. Your father's mistakes, his flaws, or his failures are his history. At some point, today, right now, you have to draw a line in the sand and declare, my destiny is my own production. The people who succeed, who execute a flawless harvest and achieve that 101 target, are not people without flaws. They are people who recognize that personal flaws are raw material for systems. They don't whine about their weaknesses. They build automation and hire specialists to cover them. They don't blame their poor focus. They create an environment that forces focus. The difference between you and the financially free is not your genetic history. It's that they chose the weight of responsibility over the cushion of explanation. This isn't cruel. This is liberation. You are an adult. The statute of limitations on blaming your parents for your inaction expired at 18. Every choice you make to stay paralyzed, to prioritize scrolling over learning, comfort over challenge, and self-pity over discipline, is an active choice you are making today. Stop using your past as a shield. Use your anger, your frustration, and yes, your trauma as the fuel for your current harvest. Be so focused on building your $1 million empire that you simply don't have the time or the emotional bandwidth to look backward. That is true psychological freedom. That is the only path to becoming a noble and not just another helpless victim. Are you ready to stop being weak and start your harvest? What is one victim narrative you will destroy today to take back control? Let me know in the comments.